Hey guys, it's just Dan here with another update for you guys about movies, comics, and everything in between that I believe is worth your time. Let's get right into it. First things first, we have the official poster for Star Wars The Force Awakens, and I have to say that it is absolutely beautiful, and I believe this is Drew Struzan who drew this poster. It looks very artsy, just like the previous posters. And I know that by the time that I'm done with this video, a few hours later, the new trailer will be released, and you know I'm definitely going to be doing, I'm going to be talking about that as well. And yeah, it absolutely looks gorgeous, and I can't tell you how excited I am for it. I'll keep you updated on that. Next up, we have news about Thor Ragnarok, and it's big news that another Marvel hero is going to appear in the movie, and that character is the Hulk. Hulk will be appearing in Thor Ragnarok, which actually makes sense because the only two characters that are not going to be in Civil War are Thor and Hulk. And the reason why I bring that up as well is because there have been, a few other heroes that do or will be appearing in future movies. Like, for example, Captain America the Winter Soldier wasn't just a Captain America movie, it was also a Black Widow movie, a Nick Fury movie, sort of, and a Falcon movie. So you got enough for that. And for Ant-Man, we also had that as an Ant-Man and Wasp movie. And also, for Civil War, this is just going to be essentially Avengers 2.5, and it was said that Civil War and Ragnarok are going to tie in with each other, so it would make sense for the majority of these Avengers to be in there, and whoever was left out of the Avengers in Civil War will end up with the one that is most connected to it, which is Thor Ragnarok. And I believe having Hulk in this kind of world definitely fits, because Thor and Hulk have had their beefs with one another. There was an animated film, Hulk vs., where they had one with him fighting Wolverine and him fighting Thor, but I don't think they're going to be going with that story. It's mainly going to be like kind of a buddy cop duo. Like, they're going to be traveling through dimensions, and also it is rumored that the Enchantress might be in this movie, as well as Valkyrie. So another one, Valkyrie, this could also be, I just imagine the poster with Thor in the middle, Hulk on the left side, and Valkyrie on the right, and other supporting characters as well. I have no idea who the villain is going to be. All I know is that Ragnarok is either the Thor robot, or they are actually going to go with the... See, I always imagine Ragnarok as like this Cthulhu being that just comes down from the sky and rains havoc on the civilians of Asgard. And it was said that this movie, according to the script, it is the darkest script that Marvel Studios has ever put out. But I am willing to give it a shot. Marvel has never let me down. Their movies are either phenomenal or they're just good. They're just, they're solid, but they're not groundbreaking. Like the Thor movies. I like the Thor movies, but I don't think they're groundbreaking. But hopefully Ragnarok will be able to change my mind. Next up, we have news about Black Panther, and that is that the director that is rumored this time is Ryan Coogler, And for those of you who don't know, Ryan Coogler was the director of Fruitvale Station, a film that I enjoyed very much. And this holiday season, he will be coming out with his new film, Creed, which is actually a spin-off on the Rocky franchise that is focused on Apollo Creed's son, played by Michael B. Jordan. Now, hearing about this news, this actually gives me more faith in seeing that movie, because when I heard about this movie Creed, I was like, I'm not sure if it's like Die Hard. It's beating a dead horse. Although I think the last Rocky movie that they did was pretty successful, but I haven't seen that yet, but I feel like I should. But as soon as I heard that Michael B. Jordan was going to be in it and Ryan Coogler was going to be directing it, I thought, okay, this could be something. This could be what the franchise definitely needs. And for Marvel to be paying attention to a director like that, I don't know if they're just focusing on him through his work from Fruitvale Station or with what he did for Creed, but I'm glad that Marvel is taking a variety of actors to work on their projects. And I've said this many times to my friends, and I will say this till my dying breath, that Marvel, when it comes to directors, they don't typecast the directors like, oh, well, this guy has this vision right here, and he's done this kind of genre, so he must be perfect for this. They get the fans to direct it for the fans, and that's why the Iron Man movies are great. Like, when Jon Favreau directed the first two Iron Man movies, that was a fan making a movie for the fan. Joss Whedon doing the Avengers, James Gunn doing Guardians of the Galaxy, the Russo brothers doing Winter Soldier, Civil War, and the next two Avengers movies, which are going to be the biggest movies in the world in 3 years. And also, even Peyton Reed, who recently did Ant-Man, is a die-hard fan of comic books and movies as well. And I have a feeling that when it comes to Ryan Coogler, something tells me that he's a fan of some kind of source material. Like, maybe for Black Panther, maybe for in comics in general, who knows? But if they go with this director, then I won't be disappointed at all. Mainly also because F. Gary Grant was rumored to be directing it, but it turns out that he is going to be officially directing Fast and Furious 8. So who knows where that'll end up. So moving along, we have news about the Inhumans, and it's something that Vin Diesel has been doing, and that is that he has been campaigning to play the main character Black Bolt. Now, for those of you who don't know, Black Bolt is a Marvel character who is the leader of the Inhumans, a group of people who have their own homeworld called Attilan, which I believe is either on the moon, a city that hovers above Earth, or is on Earth but is just hidden. And, you know, just in case if I screwed that up, just leave that in the comments section on who the Inhumans are. I'm still doing my research. But Black Bolt is a character who does not speak. I mean, he can, but he chooses not to, because his powers is that he's like a combination between Cyclops and Banshee, or Black Canary. Actually, I would say it's Black Canary, Banshee, and Cyclops put together, meaning that he has that powerful screeching noise, but it's permanent on mode. And his voice, it has the ability to shatter mountains. And even the tiniest of whispers can, like, bring a building to its knees. Like, turn it into a dirt clod. And Vin Diesel has been wanting to play this character, and he had this quote to say that if he were to be in another Marvel movie, and aside from playing Groot, on who else he would play, and he had this to say: "I can totally be something else with Marvel. I think playing that role only makes Marvel that much more excited, and me having my experience with Marvel, seeing how great they were, makes me more excited. We've heard a lot of talk about Marvel wanting to have me play a character that doesn't have my voice. So my voice is used for Groot, and my presence is used for the other character." Which, that is actually a pretty cool concept, having Vin Diesel just using his voice, and for the Inhumans just having his body. And I never thought of the idea of Vin Diesel playing Black Bolt, but I start to see it now, and seeing like the poster for The Last Witch Hunter and seeing him sit on that throne, I can see him playing that kind of role, and also with Riddick as well. And he is a fanboy, so if he is given that role, I will not be upset about it. My personal choices for Black Bolt before Vin Diesel was ever a contender were, first of all, Tom Hardy, because he is an outstanding physical actor. Like, he uses his eyes and his body to act, and that is what I feel like you need for a character like Black Bolt. My second choice was Daniel Craig, because I feel like he has that ability to pull that off as well. And like, he just has those stone cold eyes, and he's one of those actors who, you want an actor who can be silent but can still sell a performance, and I believe Daniel Craig has that talent. And my third choice was Sam Witwer, mainly because I want him to be in a live-action Marvel movie or DC movie at some point. And I do believe that his presence is more of his acting, because he does more acting with his presence. Like, if you've seen the pilot of The Walking Dead, then you'll know, and he's used to being in makeup. But I can definitely see him being in a movie like that, maybe as Triton or another Marvel character. Also, not to brag, when I went to Comic-Con in summer of 2014, I actually got a chance to meet Sam Witwer, and there's actually a video of that online, and I'll put that in the description as well, that is another story I'll have to do for another video as well. But anyway, Vin Diesel is Black Bolt. I'm down for that. Next up, we have news about X-Men, and that is Bryan Cranston was asked if he would like to play, like, a superhero character from Marvel or DC, and he said that he wants to play a nasty Marvel villain. And I thought Marvel Studios, but it turns out he was talking about X-Men, and that he said that he would like to play Mr. Sinister. Now, other characters, I can see him as Norman Osborn or Boulevard Trask, but although Peter Dinklage was phenomenal in that role. But if Dinklage wasn't casted, then I would definitely go with Bryan Cranston. And a little bit of trivia for you: before Kevin Bacon was casted as Sebastian Shaw in X-Men First Class, the two top runners were Bryan Cranston and Colin Firth. So, hey, the more you know. Oh my God, where's that rainbow from NBC when you need it? But yeah, hopefully he gets a big role like that. I saw some concept art for that, and it actually doesn't look bad. It looks pretty awesome. So hopefully he'll be able to get a comic book role in a live-action movie sooner than later. Next up, we have news about Gambit, and that is that since Rupert Wyatt, who did Rise of the Planet of the Apes, has left, they've been looking for a new director. And the recent name that has come up is Doug Liman. Now, for those of you who don't know who he is, Doug Liman is the guy who directed The Bourne Identity, and recently, hold on one second. He also directed this masterpiece, and hold on one second. There we go, right there. Yeah, he directed Edge of Tomorrow, and I should have came prepared for that. But, yeah, after seeing Edge of Tomorrow, I can definitely see him doing a comic book role. Gambit, I don't know if that's the, I don't know if that's the movie I would want him to do, because I feel like he's better than that. And Gambit, I don't believe, is a necessary movie that needs to be made. However, I'm not against it until I see some photos and a trailer. Then I'll have a different opinion on that. But hearing his name and hearing his name being involved with a Marvel superhero just makes me even happy. If you have never seen Edge of Tomorrow, I highly recommend it. It is a 10 out of 10. It made my top 5 list for 2014, and it is another film that surprised me as well. So, yeah, if he directs it, I am all for it. Next up, we have news about Batman the Killing Joke. Now, for those of you who don't know, DC likes to make straight-to-DVD animated movies, and one of them is going to be The Killing Joke, and it will feature Mark Hamill voicing the Joker, and possibly Kevin Conroy reprising his role as Batman. And they also said that they are pushing for an R rating, which, for an R-rated animated film, you know, I feel like I should, this is one of those things, I feel like I should be against it, but I'm not, because The Killing Joke is one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. And it is an incredibly disturbing piece of literature. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that. I do have it somewhere, but my graphic novels section is piled up right now, and they're all in order, and I am not going through that crap at 2:15 in the morning. So, yeah, if it's rated R, good for them. If it turns out to be PG-13, it's going to have to be a hard PG-13, which is what I'm hoping for the Suicide Squad movie. Next up is not necessarily comic book news, but I wanted to point this out, that it has been announced for 2020 that there is going to be a King Kong versus Godzilla movie. And I just wanted to point this out because it has been all over the internet, and I've been trying to figure out how a movie like this could work. Because, as we've seen in the King Kong movie that Peter Jackson directed, King Kong is big, but he's not human. He climbed the Empire State Building. He also, no, was it? I'm trying to remember if he climbed the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building. No. I want to say that it was the Empire State Building. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But yeah, he could climb that. Godzilla is the size of that thing. So I'm trying to figure out how that would work. I know that they're doing Godzilla 2 with a few other monsters, and that Kong Skull Island will also be coming out in a few years. and that later on they'll be collaborating, and hopefully it turns out to be good. I mean, I liked the recent Godzilla movie. I loved it. I know there are a few flaws with it, but you know what? It's one of those moments where I don't give a crap, you know? But, here's what I'm guessing right here. I am going to make a prediction that one of the posters, or the first poster, is going to be King Kong with his back turned from the poster, and he's going to be looking directly in Godzilla's eye. Or it is going to be King Kong looking up from the ground, his back towards the camera slightly, from the poster slightly, and Godzilla is going to be looking down on him. That is my prediction right there. I'm just excited for, like, come on, it's the two greatest monsters to ever be on the big screen. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, I don't know about any people who are complaining about this. I mean, even if they are, if there's someone out there who's saying, oh, I'm not going to see this, like, yeah, you are. You're going to tell me that, like, even if you think that the idea is stupid and that you're going to be nitpicking it with the size comparison, are you really going to skip out on a movie that's titled King Kong versus Godzilla? Let me answer that. No, you're not. But anyway, look forward to that. So, next up, I believe we have TV news, and that is, on Marvel TV, and that Fox will be developing 2 different X-Men shows. They had to get permission from Marvel Studios because they own the rights to Marvel TV. It's an entirely bigger complication than having to deal with the rights with Fantastic Four and X-Men. But here's what they are. The first show is called Legion. Now, Legion is, I believe, related to... It's about a mutant who I believe is Charles Xavier's son. And that show is going to be on FX. And the other show is going to be called Hellfire, which this one is actually going to be based on the Hellfire Club, and that show is going to be on Fox. Which, when I think about it, I have more faith in Legion than I do with Fox, which I like Fox now. They're getting a little better, especially canceling less shows. I mean, I hope they don't do this with Gotham, because I'm actually one of the few people that actually like Gotham. So, I'm hoping that these shows are good. Look forward to them. Next up is news about Daredevil. We got the teaser trailer for Season 2 of Daredevil. It's very brief, but it's also incredibly satisfying. And we also get to see our first look at Elodie Young as Elektra. And this, I should have expected that this is the approach that they would go with Elektra, because of previously on how street level that Daredevil looked in the beginning, but I was hoping that he would be wearing the red costume, and he did. And I know Elektra will be wearing something similar. I don't know if she will be wearing the exact iconic costume from the comics, but I hope she does wear something similar. We only got to see her face for like 2 seconds, well, her putting on a matte scale over her face, so there's that. But the big money shot is of 2 things. One, Karen is looking at a stylized skeleton, which I have to say is, yeah, it's obviously going to be the Punisher logo. Frank Castle is probably going to look at it and think, I'm going to put this on my shirt to make a symbol out of it. And we also get to see, kind of, John Bernthal, former boxer slash zombie slayer John Bernthal, had to correct myself there, as the Punisher. We only see his feet. He's walking in a hospital, and we get to see the back of his head, and you see him holding a gun, and all of a sudden you hear him go, "Bang," which just sounds amazing. Oh my god, he's going to kill it as Punisher. You know what? I would absolutely love it if we just showed Daredevil doing his own thing, and then just Punisher just doing his own thing, and then like halfway through the show, then they finally meet. Because, you know, that's how you build up anticipation, and then Elektra would come in the middle. I have no idea how Wilson Fisk is going to play into this. Hopefully they have good obviously they have good writers for this, but hopefully they'll work a way into that, and hell, maybe even Bullseye for that matter. So look forward to that. And speaking of Marvel shows that are on Netflix, there is a rumor that one of the newest Marvel shows that they are going to be doing for Phase 2 for Netflix. Now, what they were planning on doing was that they were going to have 4 different shows on Netflix and then end that phase with Defenders. But because of how successful Daredevil was, they're going to go with Season 2, and you know, possibly they're going to be doing the same thing with Jessica Jones, because Jessica Jones looks absolutely outstanding. And so what they're going to do for Phase 2, the rumor is that Moon Knight might be getting his own Netflix series. Now, I just want to say, Moon Knight is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. I say that a lot, and I should probably do an episode on my favorite comic book characters. I'm just trying to juggle everything at once, so... but yeah, Moon Knight, for those of you who don't know who Moon Knight is, the best way I can put it, it's Batman with schizophrenia. So, if that doesn't catch your attention, then I don't know what does. But yeah, a Moon Knight TV series, absolutely. And if they ever decide to turn that into a movie, hell, why not? He was rumored a while ago, along with Punisher, Deathlock, and Spider-Woman, getting a TV show for Netflix. But yeah, so look forward to that. I hope to God that they do a Netflix series for Moon Knight, and when they do, I'll keep you guys posted on that. Next is news about Gotham, and that is that Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman himself, will be playing the Penguin's father, which had my attention. It still has my attention, because for those of you who don't know, in the movie Batman Returns, Paul Rubens actually did play Penguin's father in the prologue of the movie. So it's just cool to see an actor like that reprise a role that was just so small and then make it a larger role than it was supposed to. So yeah, I'm watching Gotham right now. I'm liking it. I still need, as soon as the series is done, I'll give you guys a recap on that. Hopefully, I'm just expecting a little more out of it. There was just a little bit of a twist that I didn't expect. I'm like, what the hell are they supposed to do now? But they got a whole season left, so they've only done 4 episodes, so I'm looking forward to what they have to do. And the last bit of news I wanted to talk about, it's kind of comic book news, but it's not Marvel or DC. Well, technically DC. It's actually Vertigo, that Y the Last Man, the very popular graphic novel franchise, is being developed into a TV show for FX. Now, for a while, they have tried to develop a Y the Last Man movie, and I've always said it before that I think it would work better as an HBO-style show, because because of how mature it is, and also because that you have so much source material to be able to do a movie, and this could either go two ways. One, they can either expand each graphic novel and make like each issue, not like the graphic novel issue, like volume 1 and 2 and 3, make those each a season and have like the small issues that were coming out be actual episodes, or do the entire thing as just one season, just as a mini series. But hopefully they know what they're doing. I'm glad that it's able to come to TV, because I feel like that's the best way that it works. And I have to actually probably reread that just to amp up the hype for that, so look forward to that. Well, that is all the news I have for you today. The question of the day is, what is it today? Let me see. Alright. Now that Bryan Cranston is rumored that he wants to play Mr. Sinister, do you approve with this? And if not, who would you like to see Bryan Cranston play in a comic book role? Whether if it's a hero, villain, Marvel, or DC, whatever. Well, that's it for today. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. It is 2:30 in the morning right now. That is why I'm talking like this. Forgive me for that. Yeah, all you have, if you ever want to know more about what I need to talk about, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and yep, that one right down there. Yeah, that's all you had to do. Like this video, share this video if you approve of it. It means a lot to me. That's it for tonight. Until then, this is Just Dan saying, see ya!